Atlanta nightlife has always been a backdrop for wild stories. But what unfolded in the shadows of a luxury hotel last weekend has left even the most hardened love and hip-hop fans speechless. The whispers started small, barely audible over the pulse of music and city traffic, but it didn't take long before those whispers erupted into full-blown chaos online. Cameras weren't rolling, but the streets say Kirk Frost wasn't where he was supposed to be on this time. Kendra name is right in the middle of it. The shock. It wasn't a blogger or a tabloid who set the scene. It was Mendeecees himself, dropping details that no one expected to come from inside the circle. Picture this, the usually calm, calculated Mendeecees sitting across from a few trusted friends, his voice low but his words cutting like glass. I saw it. I was there. That man walked in with Kendra. And it wasn't business. Just like that, the internet went into a frenzy. Fans are shocked, not just because of the alleged betrayal, but because of who revealed it. Mendeecees has always tried to keep his distance from the mess, the drama, the endless cycle of cheating scandals that plagued Kirk and Rashida's marriage. So why now? Why Kendra? Why here? And why with such vivid detail that even skeptics can't brush it off? The family was left divided. Rashida, blindsided yet again, reportedly broke down when the news reached her. Jock, Kendra's own husband, was said to have stormed out of a set meeting, muttering words no one could catch over the slammed doors. And Kirk, he hasn't spoken at least not publicly, but insiders say his silence screams guilt. Emotions ran high as fans demanded answers. And the hotel night shockers Mendeecees described painted a picture far too real to ignore. Could this be the scandal that finally blows everything apart? Or is it yet another messy chapter in a saga that refuses to end? Stay tuned, because what we uncovered next takes the drama to a level no one saw coming. The air in Atlanta felt heavier than usual after Mendeecees' revelation, like the city itself was holding its breath. The whispers had already turned into hashtags, and within hours, Kirk and Kendra was trending across every platform. Fans weren't just shocked, they were furious, betrayed, and desperate for answers. The Frost family brand, which Rashida had built with sweat and dignity, suddenly looked fragile under the weight of scandal. Backstage on set, things were nothing short of explosive. Rashida sat in her dressing room, her makeup half done, her phone lighting up with messages she didn't want to see. Screenshots, clips, fan reactions, every notification was a knife. She finally snapped, throwing the phone across the vanity. How many times, Kirk, how many times do I have to look like the fool? Her voice cracked, echoing down the hallway. Producers rushed to capture every second of the chaos, sensing the storm brewing. Word spread that Kendra was refusing to comment, dodging cameras and slipping out of the studio with a hoodie pulled low. But silence only fueled the fire. Jock, her husband, wasn't hiding. He burst into a production meeting, his face twisted in anger. Somebody better tell me why my wife's name is in everybody's mouth, and why Mendeecees is out here saying he saw her creeping with Kirk. Jock's voice thundered, shaking the room. Mendeecees.com, but unflinching, didn't back down. He leaned against the wall, arms crossed, and said coldly, "You weren't there, Jock. I was. Don't test me." The tension was unbearable. Even Yandi, who usually tried to play peacemaker, couldn't ease the heat. She shook her head and muttered, "This is going to burn the whole set down." Fans online dissected every frame of leaked footage and every rumor that trickled out. Some swore they had seen Kirk and Kendra entering the hotel lobby together. Others claimed the receipts were fabricated. But the louder the noise grew, the clearer it became. Emotions were spiraling. Trust was unraveling. And what once looked like a storyline had turned into a very real disaster. The set was alive with a nervous hum, though no one wanted to admit out loud what they had already seen online. Rumors moved faster than the cameras could capture, and the moment Mendeecees' words hit the blogs, the entire cast felt the weight of it pressing down. Kirk Frost, a man too familiar with scandal, sat in the corner of the green room with his head buried in his hands, avoiding eye contact with anyone who dared look his way. He had been here before, but this time the accusations cut deeper, because the name tied to his was not a nameless woman from outside the circle. It was Kendra Robinson, the wife of his own friend and castmate, young Jock. The betrayal wasn't just about infidelity anymore, it was layered with friendship, loyalty, and family ties. Producers whispered into their headsets, debating whether to push cameras into Kirk's face immediately or wait until Rashida stormed into the room. Everyone knew it was only a matter of time before she did. Across the hall, Rashida's voice carried through the walls. Her stylist tried to calm her, but the tears streaming down her cheeks betrayed the strength she was trying to project. He's not gonna keep embarrassing me. Not again. Not after everything I held down for him, she spat, her words soaked in rage. The stylist hesitated, unsure if she should keep pinning Rashida's outfit or step back to avoid the fire. In her tone, Rashida grabbed a tissue, dabbed her face, and then hurled it at the floor. This ain't a marriage anymore, it's a circus. And everybody's watching. Meanwhile, Kendra was nowhere to be found. Jock had called her phone 7 times, each call going straight to voicemail. His jaw clenched tighter with every unanswered attempt. Finally, he flung the phone onto the table and shouted, "She better have an explanation, because if this is true, I swear this whole thing is done." His words weren't just an empty threat. Jock had built a reputation as a man who loved hard but demanded loyalty, and this rumor threatened to tear apart not just his marriage, but his pride in front of the world. In a corner of the set, Yandi and Mendeecees sat quietly, but the quiet didn't last long. Yandi leaned in close to her husband and whispered, "Why would you even say anything? You know once it's out there, you can't take it back." Mendeecees stared straight ahead, his tone steady but edged with frustration, because the truth was gonna come out anyway. Better it comes from me than some blogger twisting it. I'm not gonna stand by and act like I didn't see what I saw. Producers circled like hawks, sensing that the story had already spun into something bigger than they could have scripted. One of them whispered to another, "This is ratings gold. If Rashida confronts Kendra on camera, it's going viral before it even airs." But there was a deeper unease too, a recognition that this wasn't just a storyline. It was people's lives unraveling in real time. Rashida finally burst through the door of the green room, her eyes red, her voice unsteady, yet filled with fury. She fixed her gaze on Kirk, who refused to look up. "Say something, Kirk. Look me in the eye and tell me this is a lie," she demanded, her voice breaking at the edges. Kirk shifted uncomfortably, rubbing his forehead, before mumbling, "It ain't what it looks like." The room fell silent. Jock's head snapped up, eyes blazing. "What the hell does that mean, Kirk? If it ain't what it looks like, then explain it right now." Kirk's voice trembled as he tried to string words together. "We were just talking, Jock. That's it. Nothing happened." But the damage was already done. The idea of Kirk and Kendra sharing even a single moment in that hotel was enough to ignite suspicion. And the silence that followed his weak defense only fueled it. Rashida's chest heaved as she shook her head. "You can't even lie good no more. Talking. At a hotel. Do you think I'm stupid?" she screamed, her voice echoing off the walls. Kirk finally stood, reaching out to calm her, but she slapped his hand away. "Don't touch me. Don't you dare touch me after humiliating me like this." Jock pushed his chair back so violently it toppled over, the crash punctuating his rage. He stepped toward Kirk, his fists clenched, his voice trembling with anger. "If you were man enough to sneak around with my wife, then be man enough to say it to my face. Did you or did you not sleep with Kendra?" The entire room froze. Kirk's silence stretched into an unbearable pause. The tension was suffocating, every eye locked on him, waiting for a word, a denial, anything. Rashida sobbed quietly, covering her face with both hands, while Jock took another step forward, ready to explode. Finally, Kirk shook his head slowly, and muttered, "It wasn't like that." But the lack of a clear denial was its own confession. The chaos erupted at once. Jock lunged, only to be held back by 2 producers. Rashida collapsed into her chair, her sobs turning into guttural cries. Yandi pulled Mendeecees out of the room, whispering, "This is about to get violent. Let's go." And Kirk, standing in the middle of it all, looked like a man who had finally run out of excuses. Outside the set, fans swarmed social media, dissecting every leaked clip and eyewitness account. Screenshots of Kirk and Kendra supposedly checking into the hotel together spread like wildfire, though no one could confirm their authenticity. Still, the narrative had taken root. Kirk and Kendra had crossed a line, and Mendeecees had been the one brave enough to expose it. Inside the Frost household, the fallout grew uglier by the hour. Rashida retreated into silence, refusing to speak to Kirk beyond icy one-liners. At one point, she told him, "You've destroyed everything we built." Everything. Kirk, desperate to explain, sat at the edge of their bed, pleading softly, "Please, just listen." It didn't go that far. But Rashida's silence was louder than his words. Meanwhile, Jock was on a warpath. He reached out to Kendra's closest friends, demanding answers, but everyone claimed ignorance. Late one night, he finally caught her in the kitchen, still avoiding his calls, her eyes swollen from crying. Jock slammed his hand on the counter. "Tell me the truth, Kendra, did you betray me with him?" Kendra shook her head furiously, tears spilling down her cheeks. "No, Jock, I swear, nothing happened. We were just talking," but Jock's face hardened, his trust shattered. "Talking, that's all you can say? At a hotel, in the middle of the night. Do you think I'm a fool? Do you think fans are fools?" Her silence was damning. The storm only grew louder in the days that followed. Atlanta's streets buzzed with whispers, the blogs ran wild with every angle they could find, and fans filled the comment sections with their own theories. Some swore Rashida should finally walk away from Kirk, while others turned their fury on Kendra, accusing her of tearing down not only her own marriage but also another woman's home. The family was left divided, and emotions ran so high that no one knew where loyalty truly stood anymore. Rashida stayed quiet in public, but behind closed doors, her fury was uncontainable. She sat at her kitchen table one morning, scrolling through her phone, when her son poked his head into the room. "Mom, are you okay?" he asked softly, sensing the tension in the air. Rashida forced a smile that didn't reach her eyes, replying, "Yeah, baby, I'm fine." But as soon as he walked away, her hand shook, and she muttered under her breath, "I can't keep doing this, not like this." Meanwhile, Jock confronted Mendeecees directly in a parking lot outside the studio. Cameras caught part of the exchange, though the raw footage never aired. Jock's voice thundered as he stepped toward him. "You ruined my marriage with your mouth. You didn't have to say anything, but you chose to. Why?" Mendeecees didn't flinch. He stood his ground, his tone measured. "Don't blame me, Jock. Blame your wife and Kirk. I didn't create this mess, I just told the truth." Jock lunged forward, shoving him hard against a car, and for a moment it seemed fists would fly. Producers screamed, security rushed in, and the two men were pulled apart as Jock shouted, "You're dead to me. You hear me? Dead." Back in her own corner, Kendra tried desperately to control the narrative. She sat down for a late-night phone call with a close friend, her voice trembling but defiant. "I didn't do it. They've twisted this whole thing. It was business, nothing more. But now it's too late, everyone thinks I'm guilty." Her friend sighed, warning her, "Kendra, perception is everything. And right now, the perception is ugly. You need to talk before someone else writes your story for you." But Kendra hesitated. Every move felt like a trap, every word like another nail in the coffin. She feared that no matter what she said, the fans wouldn't believe her. Screenshots of a blurred hotel receipt circulated online, supposedly showing her name alongside Kirk's, though no one could confirm it. The image spread faster than fire, igniting a frenzy of speculation. Fans tweeted, "If this is real, Jock deserves better, and poor Rashida, she don't deserve this humiliation again." The internet had spoken, and the court of public opinion wasn't kind. Rashida's breaking point came during a production meeting. Surrounded by cast, crew, and executives, she slammed her fist onto the table. "I'm done playing nice. If Kendra has something to say to me, let her say it to my face. And Kirk, don't think you're off the hook. You brought this shame into our lives, and now you're gonna answer for it." The room fell silent, until Yandi gently spoke. "Rashida, maybe we should handle this off camera, for the family's sake." But Rashida snapped back, "Family? My family's already in pieces. The world already knows. So let the cameras roll." That was all producers needed. They set up a confrontation scene, knowing full well it would explode. When the day arrived, Rashida sat on one side of the room, her arms crossed tightly over her chest. Jock entered moments later, pacing like a lion in a cage. Then came Kendra, her face pale but her chin held high, followed by Kirk, who dragged his feet like a man walking to the gallows. The air was thick with tension, every breath amplified by the silence. The moment Rashida laid eyes on Kendra, she let out a bitter laugh. "So this is who you risked it all for, Kirk? This is the woman you thought was worth humiliating me again?" Kirk shook his head quickly, raising his hands defensively. "Rashida, stop. It's not like that." But Jock cut in, his voice sharp as a knife. "Don't you dare talk to her. Talk to me, Kirk. Man to man. Did you sleep with my wife?" Kendra's eyes filled with tears as she shouted, "No, Jock, no, I told you, it didn't happen." But Jock's rage drowned her out. "Then why were you in that damn hotel with him? Why are there witnesses? Why is Mendeecees out here saying he saw you? Kendra broke down, sobbing uncontrollably. Because I made a mistake, Jock. I met him there, but it wasn't what you think. I swear it wasn't. Rashida leaped to her feet, pointing a finger at Kendra. You think crying is gonna make this better? You think tears are gonna erase the image of my husband sneaking into a hotel with you? I don't care what excuse you give. You knew he was married. You knew I was his wife, and you still went there? The shouting match spiraled, with Jock punching the wall in frustration, Kendra begging him to listen, and Rashida screaming so loudly that crew members rushed in to calm her. Kirk, caught in the center, stammered helplessly. I didn't do it. I didn't touch her. But his words fell flat. Neither woman believed him, and Jock's fury burned hotter by the second. Outside the set, fans devoured every leaked clip of the confrontation. Reactions poured in. Some viewers declared it the most explosive moment in love and hip-hop history. Others accused the cast of fabricating the drama for ratings. But the pain etched on Rashida's face, the raw fury in Jock's voice, and the uncontrollable sobs from Kendra told a different story. This was no script. This was betrayal laid bare. The fallout stretched beyond the cast. Rashida's boutique saw a flood of negative comments online, with fans urging her to leave him already and declaring they could no longer support her brand if she stayed with Kirk. Jock's businesses were dragged into the drama too, with fans threatening to boycott his clubs until he got rid of Kendra. Even Yandi wasn't spared, as critics accused her of protecting Mendeecees' involvement. The entire circle felt the ripple effect, and no one came out clean. Behind the scenes, Kirk spiraled. He spent nights at a hotel alone. Ironically, the very thing that had caused his downfall. In one moment of desperation, he left Rashida a voicemail, his voice breaking. I messed up. I know I did, but I didn't cross that line. Please, don't give up on me. Rashida never replied. Instead, she posted a cryptic Instagram story with the words, when someone shows you who they are, believe them the first time. Fans flooded her comments with encouragement, urging her to finally break free. Kendra, meanwhile, tried to save her marriage. But Jock had already built walls around his heart. One night, as they sat in their living room, he told her flatly, I don't know if I can ever trust you again. You let the whole world think the worst, and even if it wasn't physical, the damage is done. Kendra sobbed, reaching for his hand, but Jock pulled away. I can't live like this. Not with the cameras, not with the rumors. You broke us. As the drama reached a boiling point, Mendeecees once again stepped into the spotlight, giving an exclusive interview where he doubled down on his claims. I know what I saw, he said firmly. They were together. They looked like more than just friends. And if people don't want to believe me, that's on them. But I'm not backing down. The interview went viral instantly, reigniting the scandal and dragging every player back into the flames. For Rashida, it was the final straw. She gathered her children and told them, no matter what happens, I'll always be your mother first. I'll protect you from this mess. Tears rolled down her face as she whispered, but I can't keep protecting your father from himself. Fans were left reeling. Emotions ran high across social media, with thousands of comments pouring in by the hour. Some called Rashida a hero for standing strong. Others demanded Jock divorce Kendra immediately. And through it all, Kirk remained silent, his reputation shredded once again, his marriage teetering on the edge of collapse. But just when everyone thought the scandal had peaked, a new twist emerged. Late one night, a blurry video surfaced online, ALLEGEDLY, showing Kirk and Kendra in the same hotel elevator. Though the footage was grainy, the internet exploded. Fans screamed, "That's them," while others argued it was a lookalike setup. The debate only deepened the mystery, and the drama roared back to life with even greater force. The blurry hotel footage spread across the internet like wildfire. Fans replayed the clip frame by frame, pausing at the grainiest moments, swearing they could see Kirk's distinct beard and Kendra's sharp profile under the dim elevator light. Within hours, the hashtags #Kirk and Kendra and #Hotel Night were trending worldwide. Even gossip outlets outside of Atlanta picked it up, with tabloids splashing headlines like Hotel Betrayal, Rocks, Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, and Rashida and Jock humiliated in shocking hotel video. The fallout was immediate. Rashida's phone wouldn't stop buzzing as friends, relatives, and even distant acquaintances sent her the clip. She refused to watch it at first, but curiosity gnawed at her until finally she hit play. As the Grainy video unfolded, her face tightened, her hands balled into fists, and tears welled up in her eyes. "That's him. That's my husband," she whispered, her voice cracking. Then louder, almost screaming, "That's him." She threw the phone onto the couch and stormed out of the house, leaving her children stunned and frightened. Kirk, on the other hand, insisted it wasn't him in the video. "They set me up. That ain't even me, Rashida," he shouted when she confronted him. But his denial fell flat. Rashida pointed at the screen, her voice sharp with rage. "You think I don't know my own husband's face? You think I can't recognize you? You're caught, Kirk. You're caught, and now the whole world knows." Meanwhile, Jock spiraled into a state of pure fury. He stormed into a production meeting, demanding that Kendra be pulled from filming until the truth came out. "I'm not sharing a set with her. Not while the world thinks she's creeping with Kirk behind my back," he shouted, slamming his fist onto the table so hard that water bottles toppled over. Producers tried to calm him, but Jock's rage only intensified. "This ain't just TV anymore. This is my marriage, my pride, my name. And if she don't come clean, then I swear, I'm done." Kendra, cornered and desperate, tried to defend herself. She sat down in front of the cameras for a confessional interview, her eyes swollen and red. "I didn't sleep with Kirk. I know what people are saying. I know how it looks, but it wasn't like that. I met him at that hotel. Yes, but it was about business. I was helping him with some legal issues he was dealing with. Nothing more. I swear to God, nothing happened." She broke down sobbing, covering her face with her hands. But the producers, hungry for ratings, pushed her harder. "Then why did Mendeecees say he saw you together? Why was it late at night? Why does the video look like you?" Kendra shook her head furiously, her voice trembling. "Because people want to see me fall. That's why. But I know the truth, and God knows the truth." Her tears didn't stop the onslaught. Fans tore into her online, calling her a liar, a homewrecker, and worse. Jock's silence on social media only fueled speculation that their marriage was collapsing behind the scenes. Blogs speculated about divorce, filings, prenups, and custody battles, though none of it was confirmed. Still, the narrative was clear. Jock was humiliated, Rashida was devastated, and Kirk and Kendra were the villains at the center of it all. Rashida's pain reached new heights when she visited her mother for advice. Sitting at the kitchen table, her mother looked her in the eye and said bluntly, "Baby, I told you years ago, a man who cheats once will cheat again. You gave him chances, you forgave him, but now he's embarrassing you in front of the world. At some point, you have to ask yourself, do you love him, or do you love the idea of him?" Rashida broke down, burying her face in her mother's arms, whispering through sobs, "I don't know what to do anymore. I can't breathe with him, but I can't breathe without him either." Meanwhile, Kirk tried to salvage his image with damage control. He called a meeting with producers and insisted on telling his side of the story on camera. Sitting stiffly in a chair, he addressed the scandal directly. "I made mistakes in the past, I won't lie about that, but this time, they got it wrong. I didn't cross that line with Kendra. We talked, yes, but that's all it was. People want to drag my name through the mud because of my history, but I'm telling you now, I didn't cheat this time." His words sounded rehearsed, his tone defensive, and fans weren't buying it. The comments poured in, "Same old Kirk boy, bye, and Rashida deserves better." Jock, however, wasn't interested in Kirk's excuses. He confronted him directly on set one day, cameras rolling, tempers blazing. Jock shoved a chair out of the way and got in Kirk's face. "You made me look like a damn fool, Kirk. You and my wife in a hotel, late at night. How am I supposed to explain that to my kids, to my family, to the fans?" Kirk raised his hands in surrender, his voice shaky. "It wasn't what you think, Jock, I swear, I didn't touch her." Jock's eyes blazed with anger as he snapped back. "Then why didn't you say that from the jump? Why all this hesitation, all this half-talking? If you were innocent, you'd scream it from the rooftops." The tension nearly erupted into violence before security pulled them apart. The producers, thrilled with the drama, aired teasers of the confrontation, sending fans into a frenzy. Clips of Jock screaming at Kirk went viral, with fans commenting, "This is the realest fight in LHHATL history, and Jock is about to end Kirk's career." The buzz only intensified when leaked audio from the set revealed Rashida screaming in the background, "I'm done with this marriage. I'm done." Yandy, watching from the sidelines, tried to play peacemaker once again. She sat down with Kendra privately, urging her to speak directly to Jock before the marriage crumbled completely. If you want to save this, you need to tell him everything. No more half-truths. No more crying for the cameras. Be real with him, Kendra. That's your only chance. Kendra nodded, wiping her tears, but deep down she knew Jock had already closed his heart to her. The breaking point came when Jock received an anonymous envelope in the mail. Inside were photographs grainy, but clear enough to suggest Kirk and Kendra leaving the hotel together. Jock's hands trembled as he flipped through the images. His face turned red with rage, and he slammed the photos onto the table. So this is what y'all been hiding from me, he muttered, his voice low and dangerous. That night, he confronted Kendra again. You lied to me. You swore it was nothing, but these pictures say otherwise. Tell me the truth right now, or we're done. Kendra collapsed onto the floor, sobbing uncontrollably. Jock, please, I didn't. It's not what it looks like. But Jock shook his head, his voice cold. Save it. I don't want excuses. I want the truth. The truth, however, remained elusive. Every denial from Kendra sounded weaker. Every defense from Kirk rang hollow. And every tear from Rashida only made fans rally around her more. Social media turned into a battlefield, with hashtags demanding justice for Rashida and Jock. Leave them both. Fans tweeted, you deserve better. Don't let them play you anymore. As the chaos mounted, producers planned the ultimate showdown, a sit-down with all four parties: Kirk, Rashida, Jock, and Kendra facing each other in front of the cameras. It was a scene no one wanted to film, but everyone knew would break records. When the day arrived, the tension was unbearable. The four sat at a long table, the air thick with anger and betrayal. Rashida refused to look at Kirk. Jock glared daggers at Kendra, and the room felt ready to explode. The moderator tried to start gently. We're here to clear the air, to get to the truth. Kirk, did you or did you not have an affair with Kendra? Kirk's voice cracked as he replied, no, I did not. Jock slammed his hand on the table. Liar, you're lying straight to my face. Kendra burst into tears, shouting, I told you, nothing happened. Rashida finally snapped, her voice trembling with fury. You all disgust me. I've wasted years of my life on this marriage, and now I'm humiliated again. I can't do this anymore. She pushed back her chair and stormed out, leaving Kirk speechless and the room in chaos. The walkout became the defining image of the scandal. Clips of Rashida storming out played endlessly online, with fans cheering her on. Finally, she's free, they wrote. Jock, too, earned sympathy for his heartbreak, while Kendra and Kirk were painted as the villains who had destroyed everything. But even as the dust settled from that explosive moment, new whispers began to circulate. A rumor surfaced that someone inside production had orchestrated the entire scandal, leaking selective footage and planting evidence to stir drama for ratings. Some fans began to question, was Kirk really guilty, or was he the victim of a setup? Was Kendra truly a homewrecker, or was she caught in a trap she couldn't escape? The uncertainty only deepened the divide, keeping fans hooked and emotions running high. The walkout by Rashida had sent shockwaves through the entire production. Crew members scrambled after her with cameras in hand, but she shoved them away, her heels clattering against the pavement as she stormed out of the building. Outside, paparazzi who had caught wind of the showdown were already waiting. Flashbulbs lit up the night as they shouted questions. Rashida, are you leaving Kirk? Do you believe the hotel video is real? She covered her face, refusing to answer, but her silence spoke volumes. Within minutes, the images of her storming off went viral, and fans praised her for finally taking a stand. Inside the building, Kirk sat frozen, his face pale, his hands trembling. He looked like a man stripped bare, with nowhere left to hide. Jock leaned across the table, his voice low and venomous. Look at what you've done. Look at the pain you've caused. Was it worth it, Kirk? Was one night worth destroying two families? Kirk's lips parted, but no words came out. His silence enraged Jock further. He slammed his fist on the table, causing Kendra to flinch. You can't even answer me, man. You can't even own up to it. Kendra, her face streaked with tears, tried to defend herself once more. Jock, please, I didn't sleep with him. I swear to God, I didn't. It was a mistake, but not the mistake you think. Jock's eyes burned with disappointment. You think the world cares about the details. You think these fans out here care about your little excuses. All they see is a hotel, a video, and lies. That's all they need, and now I'm the fool who has to live with it. His voice cracked, and for the first time, Jock's rage gave way to raw heartbreak. He buried his face in his hands, whispering, "I can't believe this." The producers knew they had struck gold. Every second of the confrontation was captured, every tear, every accusation, every dramatic silence. They exchanged knowing glances behind the cameras, whispering, "This is going to be the highest-rated episode we've ever aired." But for the cast, there was no joy, no entertainment, only devastation. Later that night, Rashida sat alone in her bedroom, scrolling through messages of support from fans. One in particular stood out. "Rashida, you're stronger than this. Don't let him drag you down anymore. We got your back." Tears filled her eyes as she read the words. For the first time in a long time, she felt a flicker of strength. She whispered to herself, "Maybe I really can walk away." Kirk, however, was unraveling. He locked himself in a hotel room, ironically the very place that had sparked the scandal, and drank heavily as he replayed the events in his mind. In one drunken call to a friend, he slurred, "I didn't even do it this time. Why don't nobody believe me? Why they always think the worst of me?" His friend tried to calm him, but Kirk hung up, sinking deeper into despair. His reputation was shattered, his marriage was hanging by a thread, and the weight of public judgment was crushing him. Meanwhile, Kendra faced the wrath of Jock in their home. The tension between them was unbearable. Jock barely spoke to her, and, when he did, his words were laced with bitterness. "Every time I look at you, all I see is betrayal. You let this happen. You let the world think the worst. And you left me with nothing but shame." Kendra sobbed, begging for forgiveness. "I never wanted to hurt you, Jock. I love you. Please believe me." But Jock turned away, his voice flat. "Love don't live here no more." As the days passed, the drama only intensified. Fans dissected every piece of footage, every leaked audio clip, every Instagram post. They speculated about divorces, lawsuits, even physical fights behind the scenes. Hashtags like #TeamRASHEEDA and #JusticeForJOC dominated timelines, while Kirk and Kendra were dragged mercilessly. Memes flooded the internet, mocking Kirk's excuses and Kendra's tears. The public had chosen their sides, and there was no mercy for the accused. Mendeecees, whose initial revelation had sparked the scandal, found himself both praised and criticized. Some fans applauded him for telling the truth, while others accused him of stirring chaos for attention. In an interview, he stood firm. "I didn't do this to be messy. I did it because I saw something, and I wasn't gonna lie about it. People can hate me if they want, but the truth is the truth." His calm demeanor only fueled the fire, making it impossible for anyone to dismiss his claims. Yandi, caught in the middle, tried to defend her husband. On social media, she posted, "Sometimes people speak their truth because silence is worse. Don't attack a man for standing by what he saw." But the backlash was swift. Fans accused her of enabling Mendeecees and questioned her loyalty to Rashida and Jock. The drama spread like a virus, infecting friendships and alliances across the cast. The tipping point came during a cast dinner, organized by producers in a desperate attempt to restore some sense of unity. The dinner was anything but peaceful. As soon as Rashida arrived, the room tensed. Kirk tried to sit beside her, but she moved her chair away, her eyes cold. Jock arrived shortly after, his expression hardened, and Kendra followed quietly, her presence met with icy glares. The dinner began politely enough, but the tension boiled over when Jock raised his glass. "Here's to loyalty," he said sarcastically, glaring at Kirk. "Something some people in this room clearly don't understand." Kirk slammed his glass down. "Man, how many times I gotta say it? I didn't do nothing with your wife." Jock shot back. "Then why was she in a hotel with you? Why was there a video? Why are there pictures?" Kendra tried to intervene, her voice shaking. "Please, stop. This isn't helping." But her plea only enraged Jock further. "You don't get to tell me what helps, Kendra. You ruined us." Rashida finally snapped, slamming her fork onto the table. "I can't sit here and listen to this anymore. Kirk, you've embarrassed me for the last time. I don't care if you did it or not. I'm done being humiliated. I'm done being the loyal wife while you keep making me look stupid. We're over." Gasps filled the room as her words echoed. Kirk's face crumbled, his voice breaking. "Rashida, please, don't say that. Don't end us like this." But Rashida stood, her chin high, her voice firm. "No more chances. No more excuses. I'm taking my life back." She stormed out once again, leaving Kirk shattered. The dinner descended into chaos after her exit. Jock hurled insults at Kirk, Kendra sobbed uncontrollably, and the rest of the cast watched in stunned silence. Producers tried to salvage the scene, but it was clear, the damage was irreversible. 2 marriages were crumbling before their eyes, and the cameras were capturing every second in the days that followed. Rumors of divorce filings spread like wildfire. TMZ reported that Rashida had met with a lawyer, while blogs claimed Jock had kicked Kendra out of their home. None of it was confirmed, but the speculation was enough to keep fans glued to their screens. Emotions ran high, with fans posting messages of support for Rashida and Jock, urging them to move on from their toxic partners. Kirk, desperate to win back Rashida, made a grand gesture. He showed up at her boutique with flowers, cameras in tow, and begged for forgiveness. "I love you, Rashida. I made mistakes, but I can't lose you. Please, give me one more chance." Rashida stared at him coldly, her arms crossed. "You don't get to humiliate me in front of the world and then fix it with flowers. I'm not falling for it this time, Kirk. I'm done." She turned her back, and the cameras captured the moment perfectly, a woman reclaiming her power, and a man watching his world fall apart. For Jock, the decision was equally final. He packed Kendra's bags and left them by the door, his voice trembling as he told her, "I can't do this anymore. I can't live in the shadow of this scandal. You broke my trust, and there's no coming back from that." Kendra fell to her knees, sobbing, "Please, Jock, don't do this. I love you. We can fix this." But Jock's face was stone. Love don't fix lies. He walked away, leaving her crying on the floor. Fans exploded online, declaring it the end of 2 marriages and the beginning of a new chapter for Rashida and Jock. Memes, hashtags and fan-made videos flooded social media, celebrating their newfound independence. But behind the scenes, the pain was raw, the wounds deep, and the future uncertain. As the dust settled from the dinner blow-up, the city of Atlanta seemed to thrum with one question: were 2 marriages officially over? Or was there still a sliver of hope buried beneath all the chaos? The answer shifted with each passing day, every new clip, and every whispered rumor. Rashida spent her nights scrolling through fan messages, finding unexpected strength in the chorus of voices urging her to stand tall. One message read, "Sis, your crown has been bent, but it ain't broken. Fix it and keep moving." She screenshot it and saved it, reading it every morning like a prayer. But even as she projected strength, she wrestled with quiet heartbreak, the memories of building her life with Kirk, of raising children together, of forgiving him time and again, weighed heavily on her chest. At times, she wondered if walking away would hurt even more than staying. Kirk, desperate and unraveling, began calling everyone he thought could speak to Rashida on his behalf. He begged her friends, her stylists, even her pastor. "Just tell her to talk to me," he pleaded, his voice hoarse. But the responses were cold. "She's tired, Kirk. You've pushed her too far." Alone in his hotel room, he stared at the ceiling, whispering, "What have I done?" He had faced scandals before, but this one felt final. Like a door slamming shut on his marriage for good. Joc. Meanwhile, threw himself into work, hosting club events and making public appearances with a forced smile plastered on his face. Behind the scenes, though, his anger simmered like a volcano ready to erupt. One night, as he left his club, fans shouted from the sidewalk, "Jock, leave her, you deserve better." The words struck him like a knife. He nodded silently, his eyes wet with tears he refused to let fall in public. Kendra tried everything to repair the damage. She sent Jock long text messages late at night, explaining, apologizing, begging. She left voicemails in which her voice cracked as she cried, "I made a mistake, but I didn't betray you the way you think I did. Please, Jock, don't shut me out." But Jock never replied. Instead, he posted a cryptic message on Instagram. "Sometimes, love ain't enough. Sometimes respect matters more." Fans instantly knew who it was about, and the comments flooded in. "Preach, Jock. She lost you, bro. Stand strong." The scandal had now spilled far beyond Atlanta. National talk shows picked it up, gossip podcasts dissected every frame of the hotel video, and fans on TikTok created viral edits of Rashida storming out and Jock slamming his fist on the table. One clip of Rashida yelling, "I'm done," was used in thousands of videos as a trending sound, cementing her outburst as a pop culture moment. But then came another twist. A hotel employee anonymously contacted a blog, claiming they had seen Kirk and Kendra together that night. The employee alleged they checked in late, stayed for a few hours, and left separately. But it was definitely them. The statement reignited the scandal, pouring gasoline on a fire that had barely begun to cool. Fans screamed online, "There's no denying it now," while others argued it was still circumstantial. Either way, the damage deepened. Rashida confronted Kirk one last time after hearing the new claims. Standing in their living room, her voice trembled with exhaustion more than rage. "I've given you everything, Kirk. Years of my life, forgiveness, after forgiveness, and still you drag me through the mud. I can't fight for us anymore when you won't fight for me." Kirk fell to his knees, grabbing her hand desperately. "Please, Rashida, don't leave me. I swear on my life, nothing happened with Kendra. I didn't cross that line. Don't throw us away." She pulled her hand free, her eyes cold. "You already did." For Jock, the final blow came when he stumbled upon Kendra at a friend's gathering. She approached him timidly, her voice breaking. "Jock, please, just hear me out." He shook his head, his face hardened. "I've heard enough. You lied, you hid, and you left me drowning while the world laughed. I can't come back from that." Kendra broke down in front of everyone, sobbing uncontrollably, but Jock walked away without looking back. The sight of his back turned on her said more than words ever could. Mendeecees, watching the destruction he had triggered, expressed no regret. In a follow-up interview, he said, "I didn't ruin those marriages. The truth did. If they were strong, nothing I said would have torn them apart." His bluntness infuriated some, but others praised him for refusing to sugarcoat reality. Yandi, however, confessed privately to a friend, "I don't know if he should have said it. He told the truth, but sometimes the truth destroys everything." The fan base was split, but the emotions remained electric. Some fans begged Rashida to file for divorce and never look back. Others urged Jock to move on and rebuild his life without Kendra. And then there were those who speculated wildly, suggesting Kirk and Kendra were secretly still meeting, or that producers had orchestrated everything to keep the show alive. The uncertainty only fueled the obsession, keeping the scandal alive, day after day. At the season's reunion taping, the cast sat together under bright stage lights, their faces tense and weary. The audience buzzed with anticipation, eager to see the fallout play out live. The host wasted no time. "Rashida, Kirk, Jock, Kendra, Thish has been one of the most explosive seasons we've ever seen. The world wants to know, where do things stand now?" Rashida, her voice calm but firm, said, "I'm done. I love my family, but I can't stay in a marriage that keeps breaking me. I choose me this time." The audience erupted in applause, fans cheering for her strength. Kirk sat beside her, tears in his eyes, whispering, "I still love you." But she didn't respond. Joc spoke next, his voice heavy. "I never thought I'd be here, but I can't keep pretending. My marriage is broken. And no matter what Kendra says, I can't unsee what the world has seen. Respect is gone, and without respect, there's nothing left." Gasps echoed through the audience as Jock essentially confirmed his separation. Kendra, sobbing uncontrollably, tried to defend herself. "One last time. I made mistakes, yes, but I didn't do what they think I did. I didn't sleep with him. I wish people would believe me. I wish Jock would believe me." But Jock turned away, his silence louder than words. The reunion ended with no resolution, just tears, silence, and broken promises. The host wrapped up by saying, "This story has shaken love and hip-hop to its core. Families divided, friendships shattered, fans left stunned. Only time will tell what comes next." As the lights dimmed and the cast walked off stage, fans erupted online once again. Hashtags exploded, clips went viral, and the debate raged on. Was Kirk telling the truth? Was Kendra a victim or a villain? Would Rashida and Jock rebuild live separately, or would there be more twists to come? One thing was certain. Emotions ran high, the family was left divided, and the scandal had cemented itself as one of the most unforgettable sagas in reality TV history. The dust may have settled on the stage, but the shockwaves of this scandal are far from over. Kirk's silence, Kendra's tears, Jock's rage, and Rashida's strength have created one of the most unforgettable moments in love and hip-hop history. Fans are still buzzing, emotions are still raw, and questions remain unanswered. Was Kirk truly guilty, or was he caught in the crossfire of perception? Did Kendra betray Jock, or was she a pawn in a storyline spun out of control? And most of Alkin, Rashida, and Jock truly move on, or will unfinished business drag them back into the storm? One thing is clear, the family was left divided, trust was shattered, and the fans were left shocked beyond belief. This wasn't just a storyline, it was a cultural earthquake, shaking friendships, marriages, and reputations to the core. Social media hasn't stopped dissecting every frame, every word, every tear. And until the truth comes out, the speculation will only grow louder. Now it's your turn. Do you believe Kirk and Kendra crossed the line? Or do you think the scandal was blown out of proportion? Should Rashida finally walk away for good? Or is there still hope for forgiveness? And is Jock right to shut the door on Kendra forever? Or do you think she deserves a second chance? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, don't hold back, because this story is far from over and your voice matters in how it unfolds. And if you've been hooked by the drama, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications so you don't miss the next twist. Because in Atlanta, the tea never stops brewing, and the next shocker is always just around the corner.